Hello everyone. So this is Naidu from Great Online Training. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about set concept. What is set? Set, S-E-T. Set is an option. We generally use it in SAS and we regularly use SAS for every programming. And what is the purpose of it and why we write it this particular set option and so how we can able to copy the information from the existing data sets and how frequently we write this particular set concept. We'll see one by one in this particular video.
Please note that there is a task at the end of the video. Watch the video entirely and respond to the task by leaving your comments below. Imagine whenever you want to create a dataset, as of now, we used to write input, cards, and all. We are specifically creating a dataset for our purpose. Imagine if the data is already available, understand? So the data is already available in the form of um like a data set. Just go to libraries location, work in SAS help library. Imagine the data directly available in the form of a class. If you try to just open it, it's already available in the form of a class data set. So we have a name, we have a sex, age, height, weight wise, the data set is already there. How can I copy the data from an existing data set? To do that, what you can do is you just go here, right clicking on it, data, your data set name, test, semicolon. Then you want to take a copy from the existing data set. I can use a concept name called set. Then I need to mention it where the data set is located. If it is already available in my work library, I don't need to worry about it writing my library name. But actually, my data set is available in SAS help. So I have to write it SAS help dot class is a data set. I'm writing it semicolon and run statement. I'm trying to write it. So this one will allow me to create a data set or data your data set name test set SAS help dot class, execute it. I think I'm done. Data set is created. Work library in the library log, it is trying to tell me that there were 19 observations and 5 variables are readed from the data set. So 19 observations and 5 variables are readed. So the data set is just got created. You just go there in your work library. Test data set is created with 19 observations and 5 variables containing data. It's just got created and it's working. Okay, so now what I have done, I've done nothing. Copying a data from the existing data set of my SAS help.class and pasting into my new data set. So set is the concept name we use to copying a values from a existing data set. That's fine. The next program, what I'm trying to do is, okay, I want to copy the data, but I'm interested to keep only certain variables in my data. Then in a brackets, I can tell to my SAS by just using keep equal to what variables you want to copy it in my test data set. Only name, age, and sex. Only these 3 variables we want to copy. Execute it and run the program. New dataset is created with the name of tester. See, only that variable is copied. Instead of copying all, I can copy only the variables what I wanted. Imagine, Naidu, we have 100 variables. Within that, only 3 variables are not required. 97 variables are required. Instead of you keeping all the 97 variables, you can tell to us as to keep only, or maybe you can drop only the variables which you don't want it. Imagine I don't want it height and weight variables in my data, HEI GH height, WICHT weight. I want to drop it. Only these two I want to drop it. I'm done. So new dataset is created, test there, name, sex, age. I'm getting it, remaining the variables whatever you said that earlier, that is just got dropped like that. So I can use keep or I can use drop. Not only that, sometimes you are keeping the values and dropping it, it's fine. But the thing is, while you are copying all the data into my data set, I'm not interested to have my name variable in my old data set of my SAS help.class as instead of name, I want to write as a S name. I want to rename it. How can I do that? Rename equal to, you just mention it. What to mention? Rename of you. What I need to do is I need to change name. I want to change it as a S name. Student name, I want to change it. So the data set what you're creating right now, go to your test. There you got it the variable name as a S name. So I can rename the variables if you want it. Not only just renaming of one variable, I want to rename another variable. You try to mention the space age equal to, you try to name it as a sh, that means student age or something like that. So execute it like that. Two variables also I can name it. See, I got it another variable name instead of age. Sh is the variable I just got created. Fine. So the next one I'm trying to do is I'm just entering it. So data test set SAS help.class rename equal to name as s name, age as a s age. I'm writing it. Uh, Sometimes I don't want it all the data to be copied into my new data set of test. I'm specifically interested. I want to copy the data of only where just mention where I want it sex equal to, you need to mention it in a bracket. So where sex equal to, you try to write it in a quotations, female data only to be copied into my data set. Yeah, I can do that. If I try executing it, you just go there, open your new data set, only the female data get copied. So you can keep only certain observations from your data, you can keep it that. Or else sometimes you want it the same data, but this time you are interested to keep FIRSTOBS equal to 2, OB, OBS equal to 8. If I write it from the SAS help.class, 2 to 8 records only will be get saved into my test data set. If you see that starting from 2 to 8, how many observations you are getting it right now? 7 observations you are going to get it. So starting from 2 onwards until 8, 7 records you are going to get it. Yeah, that's possible by just using this particular option I can do. Not only that, sometimes you are interested to write a label to a data set. Right now, test means what? Is it a testing of a patient, testing of a student? What it is actually? If you could able to write, understand what I'm saying? If you could able to write, keeping of a label for it. So I'm just trying to write it, label equal to, in a quotations you just mention it, the label I want it as a student info. I'm writing it label and execute it, run the program. So now I got it test. So now what happened, I just created a label. But the problem is, do one thing. See, the label won't be printed anywhere. It is there in your data. When you try to open this test data set, instead of just like a normal student info, is the label will be printed. So it is very much important in real time. Whenever you try creating any data set, so you need to make sure to write it label for a data set, and it's very important. We have to write it. Not only that, so if you are interested to create a password to a data set, I can just write it pw equal to, I can create a password for it. Let's say I'm trying to create a ABC is the password for my test. Execute it. Imagine the password is created. If I want to see the data, if I enter the password ABC, then only I can see the data, right? I can write a password like that. Whenever we try creating a password, make sure we'll not share this particular code with them. Then there is no point of keeping the password at all. And sometimes because of this, if the people are trying to log in, they need to enter with the password. Imagine client interest is, let's have a password, but people need to see the data what is inside of the data set, but they cannot change anything in it. So then I can write an option called read equal to, you can write it as xyz. The difference is person who enter through password have a complete access on the data set. You can delete, modify, anything is possible. If the person enter through ABC password, if the person enter through XYZ password, they can enter or they can able to just see the data, they can't delete it. Let's say I know the XYZ password, I try deleting this data set. I'm just using an option called X, Y, and Z, click enter, it will not allow me to delete it. The reason is I have an access to this XYZ password only to read. You are interested to see it, so then you need to make sure to write it. Okay, so ABC, right? We have it here. So instead of ABC, you try mentioning it. So if the person enter through, just imagine, take this data set, enter through password, delete it. If they enter with a ABC password, they can delete the data set. So I can create a password for a data set. If I want it, I can do that. Not only that, I want to remove a password. Imagine if I remove the password and execute it, it won't remove the password like that. You're really interested to remove a password to a data set, then you need to mention it proc data sets. Then you need to write it modify modify of my test with the old password what I have given pw equal to abc. Don't give any new password. If you change it abc to something else, I need to write after slash. So I'm writing abc, don't give anything, and run it. This will allow me to remove the password to that particular data set whatever I have applied. See, it's removed now. So if you open the data set of your test, so earlier, see, you try to run it, the password protected dataset is there. When it's asking, it will ask me to enter the password. Imagine I don't want it, okay, the password to be there. So what I can tell to my SAS is, let me try writing it. Proc datasets test password equal to abc, and don't write it anything. You try to open it without asking password, dataset get opened. Yes, it works like that, and no issue on it. And not only that, sometimes when you try to create a password, not password, when you're trying to create a data set called test, actually you see that every time the old data set of my test is getting overwritten with a new one every time. But I don't want it. If it is a old one is already present, don't overwrite it. How can I tell to my SAS that if it is already there, don't overwrite it? So I can just use a method. Okay, so I can just use it here by mentioning it replace equal to no, you mention it. This will allow me, if the data set is already exist with the same name of, okay, so the same name it is already exist, so then, so if it is exist, it will try to tell that it's already exist, it won't overwrite it. Check your log, the dataset of work.test was not replaced or because of the replace option. Earlier, it automatically overwrites the old one with new one. But if you don't want to overwrite it, I just done that and it's working. So there is no need on it. So what I can say that is So generally what happens, the replace equal to no option, it won't override the old data set if it is already exist with the same name. It will stop there. So this is necessary sometimes because your client data set is with the name of same name what you are looking for, but unfortunately you overwritten the old one with the new one. So it's a data loss. We can't able to retrieve the data set again back. So instead of that, if you could able to write it, understand? If you could able to write it option called replace equal to no, it won't override the old data set with the new one. And last one is in this program, imagine if you have take an example here. If you have a data, okay, take the data from the uh, SAS help.class only, but this time I want it third observation, I need 10th observation, I need 15th observation, something like that if required. So you see in your data set of your test earlier, so we have some rows, but now I need a Barbara third row, and John is required 10th row, 15th Philip is required. Only these three records I want to pick up. So I can tell to my SAS by just mentioning a statement saying it as a if underscore n underscore, that means observation number 3, then output. If underscore n underscore equal to 10, then output. If underscore n underscore equal to 15, then output. This will allow me to create a new data set called test. So there you just open it, the test data set is created. Third one, 10th one, and 15th one. So all these three records, I want to import it. Yeah, it's working. I imported nicely. So without having any issue. So here what I have used is underscore n underscore is nothing but observation number. So 3, observation number 10, observation number 15 is required. So I'm just trying to do that. So I'm getting it. Test data set. So I'll get it. Barbara, John, and Philip. So you'll get that. We're coming to the next one is data. Your data set name X, PID, age, and gender is one data set. I have another data set with the name of data Y is another data set. So I want to just combine X data set with my Y. I can directly write it X space Y and run the program, execute it. So now this is my two data sets combined. X data set of my PID, age, and gender is my from my first data set. PID, age, and sex from my second data set. So actually, sex is the information not there in my first data set. It's a missing. Gender is the information not there in the second data set. So it's missing. So basically, you see, logically, two data sets are combined, and we made it finally one data set. That's fine. But this is how it is going to be created. So it's like a two same size of two glasses, the drinking glasses I'm talking about it. You're trying to keep on one on another, it won't fit on one on another, right? It will be on one on another one as like a top and bottom only. It won't be one glass inside of another glass and all, right? Because it's the two same size of the glasses, it won't fit like that. So it's on one on top of another one only you can able to get it. Same thing, set concept is like a stacking of your data sets one on another. We can just use this particular option by using set concept. Imagine set, I am writing it with semicolon, execute, enter it. Again, if I'm writing set Y, when you try to do that, execute it. So now I'm trying to overwrite of my old data set of set is with my new data set. So basically, what it is trying to do is PID is there, PID is there, 100 is there, 101 is there. So 100 is going to be overwritten with 101. 200 is here, 200 is here. So old data set of 200 is going to be overwritten with the second one. The next one is age is here. So 20 age is here. So 20 is there. So the old 20 is gone and new 20 you'll get it. Not only 20, even though it is 30, you'll get it. See here it is a 40 and it's 30. So that 40 will be replaced with 30. But here it is a gender, but there is no column like a gender in my second data set. So my gender values of my data set won't be get disturbed. So what is basically happening? PID age and gender from my first data set, PID age sex from my second data set, gender from my first data set. That's the reason why you can able to get this information, whatever is getting it right now. You see that PID age and sex, so from my second data set, gender from my first data set, as it is I'm getting it, right? Imagine if I have one more record in my second data set, 340 mail, I'm writing it here. If I try to execute it, tell me how many records I can get it now. Understand what I'm asking? I have earlier 2 records, but my second data set I have 3 records. How many records you are expecting?
Three.
You're expecting a 3. Imagine, madam, I'll give a simple example so that you'll definitely like my example. In your bathroom, there is a 2-liter bucket, okay, water bucket, and you have a 3-liter water bucket. When you are pouring 3 liter onto the 2 liter, how many liters left with you?
1.
So the latest one, it won't get that the 3rd liter, up to 2 liter only the space. The reason is, whenever you are creating my data set of X, the bucket size is already fixed for 2 liters. Understand? When you try to pour 3 liter, it won't fit in it. Understand? Got it? What I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's the reason why the last record is not reading. Imagine if I have my first bucket size itself as 3 liters, second bucket size itself it is a 2 liter. Oh, why I'm writing 2? That is X. So then tell me what you are expecting now. How many I'll get it? This is certification question, sir.
3 this time.
You'll get 3. No. All my first liters, first bucket, everything will be empty. Then only the second water will be poured into it. So that time also you'll get 2 records only.
Now let me just talk about the task in this video. So as we have already learned the concept of set, so now how we can apply that knowledge on this particular task. You can just see the task is combining the 2 data sets using a set statement. So the meaning is combining of 2 data sets. The question 1, create a data set name class A, okay, that means this one, and create another data set name called class B with following variables like student ID, name and score variable. And I have mentioned student ID should be as a number, name variable as a character and score variable as a numeric. So I need to just create 2 different data sets first by using the data and all whatever you wanted. So then use a set concept to combining these 2 data sets together and make sure name that particular data set as combined. Okay, that's a name you have to give it. Once the data set is created in your work library, make sure to print that. So you already know the statement how to print the data set in the output window. So use that particular method to print it. Now the question is, what is the name of the observation number 3rd in the combined data set? Once you combine the both data sets together, you will have one final data set. In that final data set, what will be the value that for particular name variable on the 3rd row? What is the name? So please enter that particular name in the comment section so that you are done with this particular task. I hope you'll be able to do it, and let's open the SAS software. So in your case, and try to create it and enter your answer in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Please click on the like if you are interested on this particular video, and as well as subscribe for more updates. And if you have any questions or comments, please write it in the comment section. I'll take care. Thank you.